Lemon Amiga presents a Playguide video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hey there, welcome to another Lemon Amiga Play Guide and Review. This time we'll be checking out World Championship Boxing Manager. This was developed and published by Goliath Games in 1990. And this is the latest version, version 3 that we'll be playing. There are several versions out there. And right at the start it gives us the option to type in our name, and then it gives us a chance to look at all the boxers that we can face and play as in the game. And this is World Championship Boxing Manager. You can see Muhammad Ali there and other generic characters. We also have Rocky Marciano, Mike Tyson, and also this guy who looks like Sylvester Stallone. So let's go for him, Rocky, and let's put on Rocky Amiga, that's us. And then we are a boxing promoter. It will give us a list of options in the game, whatever we want to choose, and I'm just going to choose the stock amounts for this one because this is the first time I've ever played it. And who do you want to face? Well, let's just go for the easiest one first of all, and then it will throw us into our office. So with this game it's completely silent virtually, apart from the matches, or the bouts, whatever you want to call it. And in our office we get an icon driven unlabelled menu system where we can check out all of our stats hopefully, and we can switch on animation options as well and click various things on and off. So this is the very first time I've seen this game, so let's click on a few things and check a few things out. Using the telephone we can contact a large number of people. All of those people will hopefully get us in touch with some kind of fight, boxers in the camp. So these are rival promoters and they've got a large number of boxers to choose from. We can choose to fight them and we can choose what kind of fight we want, and there's two types of fight in the game, and that's for the Federation of World Boxing or the World International Boxing Council. And we also have to agree the percentages as well for the various promotions, and you have to agree those. And if you've got the deal right, it will say, well, you know, contact the board for consent today or the deal is off. Alright then. And then you're supposed to ring up the guy from the board. So let's do that, making sure that we've got the right one. It's WCIB, and let's request a match. And unless it's confirmed by the board, we aren't going to get anything. They're going to send us a letter apparently to confirm the match is on, and we can't do much until then. But we can rank up, we can get up to I think 5 different boxes under our name, and you can see that there are no fights today. You can check out the opponents, and so you can have up to I think 5 boxes, and other people will offer us bouts, and some of those will be perhaps exhibition matches and some of those will be towards the world title. And so you can see Fights of the Week, FWB, that's the Federation of World Boxing, and I've no idea whether that's an authentic thing or not, but this is an icon driven game. It's silent, it looks like it was made with Can Do, because the screens are simply screens that merge in and out. But let's check this room out. This is the gym, and in here we can see our boxer. We can select who we want to train up. And so let's start the training schedule. It says that there's 18 days to the next fight. Right, so we can do weight training, which improves various things throughout our body. Ring work, which is training in the ring. The punch bag improves our arm strength. The road work improves our legs, and general sparring just means it's a combination of all the lot. But ring work is also a combination of all the lot, so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm not too worried about the leg work, as long as he's got a big pair of hands he can knock the opponent out. So we're going to train up, and taking a look at the physio, it gives us a nice animation of our character. And we can check out our health. It looks like we're 100% fit, so we don't need to check out the physio. And it's great to see the various departments. If we exit from here, that will give us, well, the option to save the game, or we can go back inside. And unfortunately, you have to go back inside to skip a day. You can't return back home, which would have been the logical option. But if we go back in and check out the calendar, we can click on that, just like Hannibal. You can see, we can move the dates, and you can see now that we've got a letter. A letter. And reading that, okay, within the rules laid down by the club, it's been arranged, so now that's been confirmed. And so that means we've got a definite date. It's great to see the cat in the window. And clicking on the guy, who do you want to train? Well, me again. So we've now got 16 days to the fight, and as you click things on and off, every day that goes down, it's going to take days to do various things, and those numbers hopefully should go down as we move through those days. So that's fine, we're training ourselves up. I'm not sure if it gives us any boxer stats in this game, but I'm sure there's a massive filing cabinet in the background. So I'm sure if we really wanted to, hopefully we can get our strength and stamina. So you must go to the exit. There's a fight going on, and in order to see that, we're going to have to go to the exit. But before we do that, we've only got, well, 14 days left, and we're almost at the end of our training schedule. So before we leg it to see the match, we're going to have to increase these a bit more. And I completely ignored road work, which is skipping and kind of moving around quickly, and leg training work and that kind of thing. So we're going to do a bit more of that, and then we can check out the fight. We can stay around and watch the fight if we really want to do that, and we get one of the very few sound effects in the game, because we can actually hear the crowd and we can hear the punches as well. We will then get a visual representation of the commentary, not actually the sparrer, the bout itself, unfortunately, and that gives us a rough estimation of what's going on. So I don't think we can lay bets or anything like that, and the idea is supposed to be that we can check out the opposition, but it's not saying that we can lay any money down, and money is the very last thing you need to worry about in this game. So moving on through time, we're getting letters through the post now. Fights due this week. Let's see where we are, if we're on the list at all. No, I can't see anything there. And so we're not on the weekly roster, but hopefully maybe next week we will have something arranged. Let's see our guys trained up now. And clicking on the guy, we're still 100% fit. We've only got a few days left, but there's still 11 days left until the next opponent. So again, it's best to spread these things out. It would be great if we could see these things like an RPG and level up on the things that we definitely need, but I've no idea what we definitely need at the moment, so I'm going for ring work because it's getting nearer the time to go into the ring and train up fitness levels, because surely if the guy's fit enough, then he shouldn't have to concentrate on too many other things. Moving through time, now we can watch the fights in progress, and hopefully is this the next one, 2 Amiga fights results for January the 12th, and it gives us the boxes and we can work out which one of those is going to be easier to knock out for us, and that's probably one of the few ways that we'll find out the opposition, which ones are stronger and which ones aren't. So it's less than a week now till the next fight, so it really should be, well, anything up to 6 I reckon, so that's 6. Let's see how many days that takes to do those things. I'm not sure if you can do more than one thing on more than one day, but we're going to move through them anyway. So this is it now. This is week 2, bout 1. We are facing Bobby Carling and everybody else is playing, and you can see the health levels as well. We're on 100%, or maybe that's our ranking. Maybe we are rank 100th in the league. So that would probably make more sense. We're at the bottom of the league. So we are facing a rank 86 at the moment, which is too bad. And you can see name and address. So the icon driven menus is a bit of a problem unless you know exactly what to do, and I'm simply winging it at the moment. I haven't got a clue what to do, but we're moving through the days. There's 4 days left and there's 3 days sparring going on, and well, maybe if you increase the weight training so that occurs every week, that will build muscles up more quickly than if you concentrate on doing that on day 1 and then ignore it completely on week 1 and week 2. So that's probably what you should do. But again, it doesn't provide us with any stats or body physics or anything like that I've found, at least. And really, those stats should come up in the game. But you can see we're almost there now. We're almost to that match. So at the end of all of our training, it will give us hopefully the last bit of energy to build up now. Let's check out the gym. And so we're still 100% fit. There are no days left to the fight according to that, so I'm not bothered going to increase anything at the moment. And you can see a nice animation whilst we're in there. It's a pity that there is no music. And according to the Lemon database website, Matt Furness created the music for this game, and I haven't heard any music whilst I was playing it. Then we get into our bright red Ferrari again, because all boxing promoters drive bright red Ferraris. Get the commentator announcing both these things. This is the only time that we'll get to see the ring, unfortunately, and it's not even Defender of the Crown. We don't even get somebody falling to the ground. Unfortunately, these are the only scenes, and it's great to see all of the crowd in the background represented and individually drawn, and even guys with cameras as well. What do you want to do? A natural style of fighting, i.e. wing it, see what happens, go for a knockout, take it easy, jab and move, fight on the inside, on the outside, go for the body, go for the head. So if you go for the jab and move, you can't fight on the inside or the outside, but you can go for the body. So let's weaken up the body first of all, and now round 1. By pressing the mouse button we can move more quickly through those, and even though we can't read what it says, you can see that we are hitting the body, right to the body, left to the body, and as long as it's not saying that we're being knocked out, we can press that mouse button as quickly as we like, and then it will move through that fight. At the end of the fight, it will give us a breakdown of how bad we are winning or losing, and then it will give us some time to recuperate, and that means replenishment of our fluids and hopefully stop any bodily fluids from leaking out. So that means that we can use something that looks like a brace that I think opens the eye, and we can also use, I think, a sponge, a wet sponge, and that dampens us, makes us better, and we can use something else in the bottom corner and get some water as well. I think if you press the right mouse button over whatever it is, that will then affect the character. Again, there are no stats to observe, so we can't tell what kind of fluids that we need. But after patching up our fighter, it will then move on to round 2, and again we can select what kind of tactics that we want round by round, so we're not absolutely useless and a bystander in this game, even though this is a basic text-driven strategy game. We can even click on speed up as well, and that will speed it up all the way to the end of that round, and we're going to see we've been cut. And it would be great if we could click on the sponge and physically click on the guy and all these things, but unfortunately you can't. And what will happen is, if you press the right mouse button, I think it is, over whatever it is we want to use, that will then use that item for various seconds, and you can see the seconds counting down at the bottom. And after a number of seconds of a certain item being used, that will then affect the main picture. And so if you use various things, I think those might be cotton buds in the top corner, and maybe they're used to mop up the blood or something like that, and maybe the bottom thing is maybe some kind of plug, no idea. But if you use those things for a number of seconds, they should alter that main image, and that means that the guy has been repaired. So we're still jabbing and moving and going for the body at the moment. I can't seem to be able to change that at the moment, so it looks like I'm going to have to, I can't change it, so it looks like I'm going to have to continue with that fight, and well, let's fight on the outside. And then you can see from the very state that we're in, usually the left eye will begin to close when that is being affected, and maybe the right eye as well. So you can get to a state in this game we can barely see anything, and we can have cuts all around the face as well. But this being an early round, and this is our boxer in training, it isn't going to get too much damage at this point. And usually heavy sponge is all you need to refresh the face, and you can spend the rest of the time drinking loads of fluid. Again, clicking on the actual image and clicking on the thing like depaint isn't going to paste that on the image, do anything like that. So that's a complete waste of time. It doesn't give you any in-game instructions as to what you're supposed to do, and I only found that out after I finished this introduction. This is the very first time I've seen this game, so that's why I'm messing around. But now that's the end of another round, and what are we going to go for? We're going to go for the head this time, because the body's worn out. Hopefully we can go for the head, and at the end of that round, if we speed it all the way up, it will say that we've only just took it, but it means that we're in the lead. Now let's use all of our time to drink loads of liquid, and let's use some time for these. I've no idea what that's actually doing, but it's good that we can actually hold down that mouse button. That speeds up that process. We're not ready to go for a knockout just yet, and maybe natural, natural go for the head, I'm not quite sure. And anything that's in red at this point is damage to the enemy, I think, and anything in blue is damage to us. And you can see now our left eye is closing because we're taking a lot of damage and we're going for headshots. And that could mean that our body is exposed if we keep going for those headshots. And so let's fix ourselves up as much as we can. And now let's go for broke whilst we can still see. Let's go for a knockout. Because we've softened up the body, we've softened up the head. Now all we need to do is knock him out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is he going to get up? 8. And he gets up and knock him out again. 1, 2, 3. And he goes all the way through it again. And it's great. Is he going to get up again? He's up. 7, 8. And the fight stops. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a technical knockout in round 6. And hopefully that's us that's doing the knocking out. And the winner is Rocky Amiga. And if we stay and hang around the bar, it's not going to really do much. But we won that fight. So, if we check out the filing cabinet now, we'll get a sexy secretary, which is one of the better animations in this game. We can check out what's going on. She will present us that page of those notes onto our desk. So, let's click on the first one. We can see the rankings, and I think we were maybe rank 100 before. Let's just check it out. Let's see where we are. And Bobby Carlian is now rank 100, so where are we, I wonder? I can't necessarily see it on there, and maybe we're even higher up than that. Rocky Amiga, 86, so I'm now world rank 86 from that fight. I knocked him out. So now we can check out all the other rankings as well, who we've got to beat next, and if we want to arrange a match, you can definitely see I'm 54 now in the other one. Fantastic. So we're going up with every match. So let's check out the match records. I'm not sure if that shows us, but it says it's the rankings. So Carly knocked out, won round 6. Gives us a breakdown of our last 7 fights. Fought 1. There's also a list of our contacts as well if we want to telephone anybody on the phone. But right for now, let's pile into that doctor's office and let's fix up our fighter. And virtually everything needs some work. So you can see our accuracy on various things, fitness, speed, durability. So we get to pick whichever one that we want the doctor to work on, and we'll need to fix him up before we can train him up any further. Let's click on those, and again I've no idea what I'm doing, but apparently if I click on these things it'll do it, and it will take a set number of days to work those out, and the doctor will get on with those, I think, automatically as we move through the days, and maybe we can select one of those to prioritise. Not quite sure, but as we go through the days those things will eventually be knocked out as the doctor recuperates our guy. So let's move through another day, let's move through into the physio and let's see. And fairly fit, nearly fit, so let's keep him in the hospital another day. And it's very easy to advance time in this game, we really should be arranging another fight. So those are the fights that are due. I'm not too interested in that. Let's move forward a week and give him a week's rest. So fights in progress. I'm not too worried about that. Let's give him a week's rest. Let's see if the physio has done any magic in a week. So fairly fit. We still need him work in a few areas. There's still bad bruising and a dangerous cut going on. And we can't really do much until those have been fixed. So, well, have him lying around in a hospital for a week is costing me a fortune, but at least if he's fighting fit for February, fighting fit February is going to be much better for us. And again, it's not a gambling game, we can't put bets on or anything like that and use that money on our fighter. So let's move through, let's check ourselves out. and fairly fit and bad bruising and dangerous cut. Well, I think these things actually improve as we are working out, and if we go back into the gym now, we've still got a bad cut, but it's going to take another week to heal, so we might as well be training up whilst it's doing that. So training, weight training, what can we do? Let's get back into those muscles, and what I'd recommend usually is spending a day or clicking on one of each of these things so that it gets a fairly average workout and nothing else is lacking in any department. And otherwise, definitely prioritise the punches and the jabbing and the weight training and things like that so you can get the arms up, because usually the more strength you've got, the more you can hit the guy, and it doesn't matter about running around and backing around and taking the odd knock or two. If you can knock him out quicker than he can knock you out, then that's the match won. And having selected some kind of fight, we can select the number of weeks, and it looks like 3 weeks is the shortest time that we've got going on, because we'll have to let the guy heal. And what percentage? Well, let's just go for 20%. So we do get a deal skimmed off the top, 20%, and then let's arrange the fight with the board. Having done that, it's as easy as that, and the fight is now booked. We've now booked it, we've now ordered that fight. So everything's piling up. I don't really need to check out the mail, but that will pile up. And regards to the Amiga, we find no reason to oppose the fixture, therefore we're going down and we're going to arrange that fight. Fantastic. So that's our second and our final fight. Final fight arranged in this game, and that will be the final one that I'm going to be showing you in this video. And again, this is me trying to work out how to play it. So we've got 18 days left against Real Madrid, so we now have to concentrate on, again, the arms, the punch bag. I'm not too worried about the road work, we can get the sparring once we're a bit closer to it. Now let's check out how we are physically at this point. And there's an unpleasant cut and a slight bruising. It's still going to take a week or two, but we're fighting fit durability wise, and all that weight training and things like that will make us hungry, and that means the more hungry we are, the more food we're going to get. That means the more nutrients we're going to get. That means we're going to heal up quicker. So let's get ourselves in that gym. There's all kinds of things you need to consider as a boxing manager. You don't just arrange the fights and hope for the best. Sometimes it's all about the ambience, it's all about the equipment, it's all about the coaches, it's all about the tactics, it's all about the venues, it's all about the opponents, it's all about the strategy. So let's go in there for that strategy. Check out the gym. Let's see how far we've got to go now. And well, it still says 12 days to the next fight, and we've got precious little going on in that time, so really I should have allocated a bit more going on. Obviously if we skip a day and the fighter isn't training up, that might give him a bit of a rest, but it's not actually going to increase our stats anymore, so that could be seen as wasting time. So I'm not sure again if these things take a day each, or whether we can have one and that'll basically waste one day. No idea, but let's put 5 on everything, and we're getting closer now, hopefully it's the fight. At this point we can skip on a few days. So to Lemon Amiga, are we on the board? No, we're still not on the board. Obviously, I think there's 12 days left, and hopefully now we should be fighting fit in most areas, so that means we can now train up in the last few areas. Just before the fight, it's time to go into those scores, and Zap64, or whether it was Zap Amiga or whatever it was, issue 63, gave this the lowest score at 33%, and they gave the Commodore 64 a higher rating for some reason, but they gave the Amiga one a lower rating, even though obviously the Amiga's got better graphics. And the Games Machine gave this 57%, Generation 4 gave it 70, Amiga Format gave this 76. Amiga Joker, or Amiga Choker, gave this 80%. Dato Magazine gave it 90. See Your Amiga gave this 90. Your Amiga gave this thing 91%. And Ace gave this effort 95%. Ace 33. Tony Dillon said this is one of the most in-depth and entertaining strategy games yet. I'm not sure whether he meant yet created in the solar system or in the space of Amiga games or in just the space of his domain, but Tony Dillon awarded this 95.5%, calling it perfect. And I've seen better boxing games on the Amiga, definitely real-time boxing games, and 4D sports boxing and all these kinds of things really tried to do something out of the bag with 4D boxing. But unfortunately this game doesn't do it, and it's definitely got some fans out there. This was requested by Mike Bergvist, and he was a subscriber to my channel just long enough to request this. And then as soon as I recorded it and told him I was doing that, he then unsubscribed. So he's given me the sum total of £10 throughout his subscription, and that's just enough to request a game. So if you're a subscriber and you're subscribing more than £10 or you accumulate that much, I'm going to give you a game, or a free game, of a game that wasn't on our backers zone, or I'm going to say if you want to request a game that I haven't played already, why not do that for our next series? This is the prime time to do that because I haven't started recording yet for the next series. This is the time to do it, and this is just the time that I usually start recording it. So, Hector Real, let's move on to this one, and again, it's supposed to be 10 rounds, and let's see what we deal with this. And so, taking everything into consideration, this gives an average score of 7.5 out of 10. All those 90s really pile up into something, but that 33 and the 57 really drag it down. This one being the second round, or the second match, or the second tournament, it's going to be slightly harder than the first one. You can say we've been dominated already in the first round, but we haven't really been injured. So you have to count up how many rounds that we've dominated, or we've come out on top, and those will be counted up at the end. So if we won 5 rounds and the enemy won 4, we'll win. It's as simple as that. So we have to choose at this point what defensive manoeuvre we're going to do, or what attacking manoeuvre, and sometimes it's best to soften him up like a punch bag at the start of the game, and that means once the body's out of action, then you can start going for the head, because usually once the body and the head are both out of action, that means they are unable to fight a great deal, and the legs will take care of themselves as they move around the ring, and the arms will naturally get tired as they pound each other to death. So you don't really need to worry too much about that. Really, you just need to get a few rounds in to see how hard it's going to be, and eventually the guy will start being more aggressive, and it will start going for 1 or 2 shots, side shots to the kidney, front shots to the stomach, maybe head shots, maybe shoulder jabs, arms, anything like that. Anything above the belt is allowed and recommended. And usually if the opponent's guard is down, they'll go for a headshot, and if the opponent is trying to guard the head and the shoulders, they'll go for a jab. So sometimes an uppercut as well can win the opponent. Winding the opponent is definitely a good move, because that means they'll be unable to catch their breath. So you can see our left eye is closing now, unfortunately, due to the injuries that we're taking. And obviously if you make it all the way through 10 rounds, it's going to be pretty difficult. So what can we do? Well, we don't really need external fluids, but I'm going to give him some anyway. And let's see if we hold down that one. Is that opening his eye up? Well, it didn't open his eye up, so maybe that's not the right symbol to repair the eye. And I thought it might have been, but it's not doing anything. So let's move on to the next round. Let's see if we got anywhere with it. And again, it's been dominating us. And the eye is open again. Maybe all those health tips have managed to help us. But I think those things do change in real time. So you can see we're getting a slight cut now of our eyebrows. We're on to round 7. This isn't looking good. And the Amiga looks like we've been knocked out. Not quite sure. Hopefully we'll manage to get up again. And who knows? We managed to get all the way up. It goes up to 9 and then you're out. So that's it. We've now lost the fight. We won 1 and we lost 1. We've been knocked out in round 7. So it's as easy or as hard as that. We didn't go for an early attack and weaken him down. Sometimes you have to go for an early attack and an early knockout, but that's not very good for the crowd. Usually they like to spar for a few rounds so that the crowd gets their money's worth. They don't really want to see somebody getting knocked out in round 1, and it's not really good for the betting either. So that's what they like. They like a few exhibition rounds and then the fighters can get on down to it. Whoever has enough stamina and enough strength and enough willpower at the end of all that can then go for a knockout, and usually that's the best tactic. So you can see we've been knocked out. We totally knocked out Carlin, but we've been knocked out in round 7. So we managed to put Carlin into the hospital and we had to stay back in the doctor's office for 2 weeks until we could recover. After that we'll get a breakdown and you can see rank 100 now. We've gone all the way back to rank 100 because we lost that match and we're going down in the ranks. So maybe we should have chosen a better and easier opponent, and you can only find that out by looking at those stats, checking out those fights, seeing who won what and seeing what the tactics are live. If you go for headshots and that kind of thing, then you can just go for the body. So that's this game in a nutshell. It's a point and click fighter, and if you like these kind of games that you can spend months playing, definitely this is one to check out. It's got its fans out there. Definitely Tony Dillon is one of them. So thank you once again, and I'll see you again in another play guide and review at some point sometime soon. Thank you.